to this channel. This is Snakes of Asgard. I'm Gilbert. This is Jasmine. She wishes her name was Loki. But anyway, today we are going to be showing all of my reptiles, my whole collection. I will show you a couple pictures of Jazz's snake at the end.
Look at the merch! You got the merch!
You can't buy it.
You can't buy it.
You can't buy it yet. So Jazz can go ahead and do this first one. You can explain a little bit about this one.
Okay, so this is Coco. She is a adult royal python. She had very loving carers before us. She is probably, how old? 15, yeah. She is quite head shy. Royal pythons will get generally, the females get longer. They'll generally get to like 5.5 foot, maybe a bit bigger. Males smaller.
A lot smaller. Like 3, maybe 4 foot.
Yeah. And she is a female, so she is pretty much fully grown. She might have a bit more growing to do.
Yeah, like, I mean, they don't stop growing until they die.
Yeah.
Die. Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, but they'll slow down their sheds when they're like, because they can live up to 40. There's one alive right now that's 60, but their shedding slows down so much. So yeah,
she's an absolute sweetheart though. She's only bitten once, your dad, if I'm correct, isn't she?
Yeah, he had KFC when he was going to pick her up, and it was her feeding day, so I guess it's understandable.
Yeah, she's very pretty. She's a normal. So she doesn't have any.
I find the normals pretty.
Yeah, the normals are very pretty. Very pretty. I have a normal myself, so I can speak from experience.
Yeah. Oh, fun fact: the only other time she's bitten is when the owner was like literally 5 years old.
Aww.
They had rabbits. He held 2 rabbits.
Oh no.
It was like covered in rabbit smell and handed the snake immediately after on the feeding day and went,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you're gonna get a snake, just remember they are predators and they will eat. They will, if they smell like their food on you, they will num num.
Especially with royal pythons, if they sense your body heat, even if there's a mouse in front of them, but their face is facing you, they'll sense your body heat because that's how they hunt, and then they'll strike you because they think you're food. They'll quickly realise you're not though.
They are such lovely snakes as well. I like to say they're kind of like the dog of the snake world. They're quite cuddly and good to chill with.
Not this one though. She's active.
She is so active.
We were on a call the other night and I was just chilling and she was across half the bed and was like, chill! And she got down the gaps. It was really awkward, but yeah.
Yeah, but she's so sweet.
Yeah, so she's wonderful.
She's a wonderful snake.
She is a gorgeous snake. And these guys, they come from Africa.
Yeah.
And in the wild, they will usually eat African soft furs.
Yeah.
But that's not what they mainly eat in captivity. They'll eat rodents like mice and rats.
Yep.
The common ones. Okay, so the common ones. Okay.
Going home.
I'm trying to do the doors and film it.
I'll push with my elbow. You're going home now.
There we go. She'll race the door. She'll try and come back out. So.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a bit hard. No, Coco.
No, Coco.
Coco.
Hey, go.
Wait there, we'll be back in a sec once we. So Coco's back now.
Coco's home.
She has got a nice big tank. She didn't originally come in that. Look, the tank she's in.
She came in was.
It's down here. There's a bunch of. It's currently like a storage. Storage unit.
Yeah, at the moment.
Yeah. She can almost fully stretch out in this actually.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, the rules for a snake and tank size is they should be able to go stretch out completely along the whole front of the tank.
And I'm guessing
they might even if you had a snake that was stretched from here to here, but it has this big of a tank, that'd be fine.
I'm guessing she goes.
You can also have one that stretches along and goes around the corner, but that's fine.
I'm guessing she'll get a bigger tank as she.
Oh yeah, definitely. She needs a bigger cave. This is just the one she came with. We might switch Salad and Coco's over, but Salad is shedding right now. I just realised no one even knows what Salad is yet. But yeah. Okay, so Jazz is going to wash her hands. Got dirty glass. Yeah, so royal pythons are wonderful pets. and I'd recommend them to a lot of people.
Yes.
Okay. And ignore the stickers. I'm going on holiday and I just need them so the person taking care of them knows who they are. Because I've got a lot of them.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I'll do the next one, and it's one of my favourites. So this is Bubbles. She's let me just grab her. She's an Indonesian blue-tongue skink. These guys are absolutely wonderful. I love her. She's not particularly the friendliest one. She's quite a chunky one. She loves bugs. And yeah, I'll come down. So this is what an Indonesian blue-tongue will normally look like. And if you can hear her huffing, I don't think you can. She's not doing it right now. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can hear her a bit.
So when she huffs, that's them actually telling you, go away.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I think she's just a bit vocal. She's more of a communicating. Yeah, no, she's a really vocal blue tongue, I'd find. Because she's usually really calm and she huffs anyway. She just likes to huff. She also loves food. She's gorgeous. She's got some moss in her mouth. It looks like she tried to eat moss. She loves scratches, look. There we go. Which is a bit cute. You scratch it and she'll love it. She originally came with mites, but otherwise she is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And now her tank is where I get my supply of Taurus mites.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, Taurus mites eat snake mites. And then they'll die off from starvation after ow.
Where are you going?
And so then if you buy Taurus mites or you see them in your local reptile shop or pet shop, if you just see them in general, they're for snake mites. I'll see if I can get her in from my back. This isn't going so well.
Would you like me to take her?
No, I'm fine. Okay. Come on, Bubbles. See, guys, never put a
blue tongue on your back. It's not the best.
It's not the best idea. Just say bye-bye in huffs.
Bye-bye.
She doesn't even want to say bye. Come on then, Grumpy. I'll feed her a bug.
We could...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we should do that now before I forget. Okay, so we have some crickets, which look like they've been pooping a bit because it's a bit mouldy in here. Oh no, I gave them banana. That felt professional. I managed to catch 2 dead crickets.
Ah, cricket. Look how majestic.
Majestical.
Majestical.
Ready? It's not even moving.
Did you?
How did I kill it? It's playing dead. She doesn't care.
She doesn't care.
She does not care.
There we
We
go.
need to get an epic chase scene, don't we, Bubbles? Because we are movie stars. This one seems like a runner.
We could
2 runners.
we could put music over the top of this bit.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is Bella, guys, and she is a VPI Snow boa constrictor. She is a female, obviously, because I've been saying she. And these guys are absolutely gorgeous, and I think I will pass her to Jess for this one.
So, as we've said, this is Bella. She is absolutely gorgeous. She is a boa constrictor, as we have said. They are very strong, and she will take like a small rat or a large rat, depending on whether on what day, and I guess like shed and things. I don't know, but she is such a sweetheart. Obviously, got to be careful with boas. Don't get them as beginner snakes. They're not good beginner snakes.
And they get pretty big.
Get very big. They get. She'll probably get what?
7 foot,
Yeah, 7
but that's because she's got VPI.
Yeah.
If she was a normal,
If
she'd
she
be
was a
getting
normal,
like
she'd
10
get 10 foot.
10 foot, if at the largest, like big boas are 10 foot.
She,
but still.
yeah, as I've said, she's very pretty. She's got this red tail.
It's kind of hard to see since she's a snow.
Yeah,
But if she, like, normally these are like bright red.
yeah, they've got very red tails.
Yeah.
They are also, like, in my opinion, one of the strongest snakes, and
Yeah.
very strong. You can see her muscles, like, as she's clenching around me here.
Earlier I was holding her and she was squeezing my arm and it was like going blue, and it actually
strong.
hurt as well. It's like really painful.
Yeah. Another thing with Bella that I've noticed, that her little leg stub things very like when
Oh yeah, let's show them.
when she wraps around your hand.
Right. Oh, she's kind of gone all awkward.
She's got
hasn't she?
all awkward.
So,
yeah.
right, snakes have these. Their paws. They're not like the sort of paw you think, not like a cat paw, but they're called paws. I'm pretty sure. But yeah,
They're kind of
she's-
like spurs, aren't they?
Yeah, they're just like. Oh yeah, spurs. That's what the word. Where is your vent? This isn't anything rude. Please don't cancel us.
She's got she's got.
Anyway, you can't see them on Bella, but
But when she wraps around you, they're like
they stick out.
They stick into
They're
you.
technically just 2 claws on the side of a vent,
Yeah.
which is also another way for
Yeah.
yeah.
So she is quite young still. Isn't
Yeah, she's a year and a bit.
still quite young.
Yeah, she's not the oldest.
But as you can see, at a year, she's already this big.
Yeah,
So-
she's getting around 4 foot. She's in a 4 foot cage actually. So yeah. Although, just putting this out there for anyone who does get a boa, like as long as it's not a VPI, I'm just warning you. I have seen year-old normal boas that are a lot bigger than this and reaching like 5 foot at a year.
You have to.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to over-exaggerate, but I've seen some pretty big year-old boas that are like bigger than this.
You have to make sure that you have the right setup as well, because if you get a boa and you're not prepared, not a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, but with this one, it's still going to get pretty big. 7 foot is quite large.
snake.
Like 6-7 foot is quite a large snake.
Yeah.
But she's growing quite a lot slower, I've found, since her morph
Yeah.
does shrink the size a bit more.
Yeah. And you'll find that with some morphs. They'll shrink
Yeah.
a lot of snakes.
Hi, just apologising for how long today's video is. We're definitely going to keep them shorter in future. We're just took a while since there were so many reptiles to show and bugs. But I hope you enjoy.
I've seen the Key West boas. They get a lot smaller.
A lot smaller.
Or at least the Key West boas I've seen.
Yeah, so if you get like a VIP boa or anything,
VIP.
VIP,
VPI.
VPI. Oh my actual god! I carry on saying it. Het banana VIP. Yeah, she's a very important person. But if you
Snake.
the snake. If you get a
Nice.
if you get a VPI boa, don't be worried about it being small, because it's not.
Don't be worried about being small.
No, because it's not. It's not. They're not like dwarfed in any way. It's just how their morphs go.
Oh, I thought you were saying don't be worried about it being small in like a different way. Like you mucked up and just realised. Don't be worried about it being small. No. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. If you want a big snake, I would but you don't want a 10-foot boa.
Yeah.
You still want a boa, but like it's just 10 foot. It's just a couple feet too much.
Yeah.
VPI boas, they are quite a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. I mean, actually, she's a VPI snow.
I like Dumeral's ground boas.
Yeah, I was trying to get doom rules, but I went to this table at this so I got it from Reptile Expo actually, and I went to this table full of boas and that. And I was looking for doom rules boas, but they didn't have any because they were incubating eggs at the time. And I saw her, and she was like £200, but she's a VPI snow, so that's actually pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
And the man took her out, and she was just gorgeous. But she was like, I've had her for just a few months, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, almost a year, I'd say. And over the course of that year, she has grown so much. A lot. Like, she's so much stronger.
The first time I saw her,
she was
probably the same size as Salad, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I can't really remember if we've already filmed Salad or not. But
no, me neither.
You might already know who Salad is, but you might not.
Yeah, she is absolutely gorgeous though.
Yeah, and yeah, these guys are pretty cool.
When they feed, the entire anatomy
changes. Yeah.
Gets.
So they're pretty cool. Females obviously get larger than males, so if you get a VPI male, it's not going to get 6-7 foot. It's probably going to get 5-6 foot sort of stuff. Because I'm not sure how big the difference is in boas, but from what I know, it would probably be a bit like that, wouldn't it? So. And
with these guys, make sure that you're prepared to feed them what they need instead, because with it's kind of easier when you have corn snakes and things because they don't have to feed on large rodents sometimes. Yeah. But these guys will have to move on to larger rats and
even rabbits.
Yeah, depending on how big she gets, maybe even rabbits.
The issue is anyone who's experienced and ready to get a big snake and wants to get one, just putting it out there. If you think you can just go and buy a rabbit when it's big, when it needs feeding, rabbits are actually pretty hard to find. For feeders. And I would recommend, I wouldn't recommend it. Rabbits are probably the best feeders, but they're a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
And most people have to end up doing pigs some of the time because they just can't find rabbits. Because it's... Yeah.
But as long as your snake is healthy, happy and healthy.
Happy and healthy.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Right, let's put her back on and move on to the next one.
Right, back you go.
Oh, another fact is boas are really awkward to get back.
They are.
And you usually have to learn your own tricks.
In you go, please.
Come on. And they also love going directly up.
Yeah, because they're semi-arboreal, aren't they?
Well, yeah, people don't say they are, but they love to climb. I wish I could give them more climbing opportunities, but I just can't.
When she gets into the 6 foot, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just didn't really. The only issue was I didn't have any big wood or sticks.
Yeah.
At the time, I had this big long Frankenstein vine, but yeah, that was it.
Lovely.
Yeah. So she's actually, this is a 4-foot enclosure. She's not fully stretched out, and you can already see how big she is. She's a year-old, so.
Yep.
Although don't get too worried if you see a picture of a year-old boa constrictor and it looks absolutely giant, because perspective is a thing, and it might just be a different perspective. So if you're looking at sizes on pictures instead of actually researching, which you probably should do instead, just remember to look at more than one, because there might be a couple different perspectives out there that make them look bigger. I know I've seen a normal that was 1-year-old, and the picture of it made it look like a 5-foot 2-year-old. So
yeah. Anyway, that's Bella. She's amazing.
Yeah, she is gorgeous. She is really friendly, but do remember, not all snakes are really friendly. Yeah. And I would say boas are more you got to handle them to keep them friendly. Because if you
don't be scared to handle them.
Oh yeah. Plus something this size, I was I'm just speaking from experience. A bite from this, not really even that big of a deal.
No.
I wouldn't even put a back.
I'd be more worried about her because she would constrict, wouldn't she?
If she really wanted to go for it.
Yeah.
But if it was a food bite, she'd probably just grab, let go.
Yeah.
But it's I wouldn't even put anything over the bite. I'd probably just wash it so it doesn't get infected, and then I'd be fine, because it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Because you think they don't have big teeth, they just have little sharp fangs, so it's kind of just a couple needles, and it's not that bad.
Yeah. Not too bad.
Right. If anyone has a phobia of needles, don't worry, you won't be seeing them sharp little teeth.
Yeah, no. Right, yeah, that's Bella.
Okay, we'll move on to the next one after. Okay, so the next one is Sprinkles. As you can see, he's being quite awkward. So he is if you can see him, he's a palmetto corn snake. And these guys do not normally look like this. This is what called the palmetto morph, which changes the colour, obviously. These guys are usually red in the wild. And these are, I believe, a species from the colubrid family, which are, in my opinion, it's kind of just a group of smaller snakes, I'd say. And some can be quite big, but most of them are like corn snake size. These guys can get about the same size as a royal python. Maybe
not as thick.
Not as thick. They'll get about this thick. I wouldn't say they get the same size as a royal python. They wouldn't get 5 foot, but they get around that sort of range. I mean, there's definitely been a 5 foot female before, but I think there's even been 6 foot, but that's not average.
No.
Males obviously get smaller. This is a male.
His name is Sprinkles.
I don't know exactly how old he is, but I'm pretty sure he's at least a year old right now.
I have no idea what face I was doing, but it was really weird.
And these guys can be not the nicest, but they can also be quite friendly. They are most of the time recommended as a beginner pet snake. And if you're looking for a snake, but you don't really have many places like that carry reptiles specifically around you, if you live in England, which is where we are, there is these shops around the place called Pets at Home. There might not be one near you, but if there is, they usually have corn snakes anyway. Back on track about Sprinkles, he is a friendly corn snake, so he's not going to be mean, but
He's chaotic.
yeah, he's chaotic. They're all chaotic. You can
Definitely chaotic. I mean, like, what? Look at what he's doing. He's up my shirt, for God's sake.
see he's quite a bit bigger than he looks, and you want to be very careful with these guys and them escaping.
Hey.
I have had him escape in the past, and it wasn't very fun to deal with since he wasn't in the best mood.
Yeah, you can see his kind of his natural colours just
Kind
there.
of popping through.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the sort of pattern you get on them.
Yeah.
Although I think that's kind of just the patterning from the morph anyway. But
Yeah.
it kind of just mixes what. It's kind of like if you grabbed a normal cotton snake and just mixed all the colours up, that's what it would look like. Because they have black, orange, red, all sorts of that.
Yeah. Corn snakes have a lot of morphs.
Yeah. If you want something more like more fancy, I'd say, you'd have to go to like somewhere that specifically has reptiles. Like there's the Trop Shop in Essex, I believe. The Reptile Hut. I have no idea where that is. Even though
That's in Danbury.
Oh. Anyway, he came from the Reptile Hut, so. Although, don't expect to go to like a small reptile shop and find this around the place, because this is more. That's more like even the shop owner would be surprised to have one of these.
Yeah.
Because it's not that common. Don't get me wrong, it's not like it's the rarest thing in the world, but it's not that common to have one of these.
No.
Like, most people have corn snakes, but not many have palmetto corn snakes.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of cool.
Anyway, this guy is awesome. He is really nice.
Okay, so... this is the OG Gary. Here's a leopard gecko. Here's a normal one.
Hi.
He is gorgeous. I thought he was a giant Godzilla, which is actually a morphin leopard gecko. I thought he was a Godzilla one, but he was. that was a noob. A noob. Right, Jasmine,
so
hold
pretty.
him.
Hi.
And I shall feel.
So pretty.
Yeah, this is Gary. He's gorgeous. I went a bit closer. Yeah, these guys are absolutely wonderful, and Jazz will talk a little bit about them for you.
So, leopard geckos are like They don't get massively big. He is quite big for a leopard gecko at the moment.
He is.
Yeah, especially at this age. He's absolutely beautiful. Leopard geckos will drop their tails. That is a thing that they do if they get scared.
It's not too easy to get.
It's not like you can touch them.
Not all of them are like this, but if you gently touch their tail a couple times, they'll be fine.
It's not like he's gonna drop his tail at the slightest touch.
Yeah.
They have like this bumpy skin, and
it's really weird.
It's really weird, but also pretty.
It's kind of hard to see on, like, if you get like a bad phone that films really bad. It's really hard to see. They look smooth. But then when you touch them, they're really rough. So.
Yeah, they are fed on. Well, he is fed on bugs, isn't he?
They're completely insectivores. You can't give them anything else. So,
and he will eat bugs up to like dubia roaches, won't he? So he is quite a good feeder, isn't he?
Yeah.
He takes his food very well. Most leopard geckos that I've met do. They take their food quite well.
Some of them get food aggressive. Gary is not at all.
Not at all.
Have you seen their videos where these idiots put a mealworm on their wrist and then the leopard go, ow.
Yeah.
Don't do that because it's not the best idea. I don't even try and hand feed him. It's just risky. They're not known for the best aim ever. So.
No. So his setup is pretty simple for a leopard gecko. He's got sand.
I wouldn't say it's simple, but it's not.
He's got plenty things.
It's not amazing because it's not a bioactive.
No, it's not bioactive. But he's got sand for substrate. He's got plenty of caves. That's one thing with leopard geckos. Get them plenty of caves.
They are crepuscular. They will constantly hide.
So. Plenty of caves, fake plants, things that they can climb on a bit, but not too high because they're not arboreal. They are they stay on the ground, and they're quite. To be honest, they are quite smart. So if you give them like things that they can climb through, and
I've seen him scratching on the air vents at the back, specifically that one.
Yeah,
and I thought there was like a pigeon in my room. I was like, why is there a pigeon in here?
Don't give them too big of a water bowl, I wouldn't say.
No, they can. Well, I wouldn't say they drown. It's more young ones. But
young ones you need to be careful with because they're small.
Yeah, they are like tiny.
And
if you look at him,
baby,
that's smaller than the tail.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thus.
Are you escaping?
Are you escaping?
I go on the move.
Should we put them back?
Yeah.
These guys are really easy to find. They're even more common than corn snakes even. And these are the cheapest things in the world. They're literally £35, not dollars if you're American.
Absolute
They're
beauties.
gorgeous. That sound. Don't be like me. Get an Exoterra instead. Exoterras are brilliant, but don't be like me and getting sliding doors because the sound will go.
Yeah,
and it's really hard to listen to.
Yep. Okay.
Right. Okay, so the next one is, oh, surprise, I'm not going to tell you because these are.
He's not in there.
There he is. This is Basil. He is a Conda hognose snake. He is obviously a baby. He's like literally
so small. Absolutely beautiful.
If you like stand back and then see the actual size of
Yeah, like look, he is so small. Literally look like a worm, but so beautiful.
And my hands are small as well, and he's small compared to them. Okay, unfortunately, guys, we aren't able to show you the rest of the footage with Basil, but I am here to do the rest of the segment. See, as we were just talking about, he is so tiny. I mean, look at this. Now, at the time, he hadn't eaten, but now he has, so he's quite a bit bigger than what he was, as you can see. But he's still a very small snake. Anyway, hognoses are called that because of, if you can see, he's kind of got like a pointed up nose. It's kind of hard to see. There you go. His nose is kind of angling up the way. That doesn't sound right anyway, his nose curves up and he's got two little nostrils on it, so it looks like a pig's nose. So yeah, that's why they're called hognoses. He is a Conda, so not all of them look like this, and these ones will cost a little bit more.
Yeah, he is a male, and you can tell by the length of their tail. You can see where that orange stripe is, that's the start of his tail. And if his tail's longer than some other hognoses, then he's a male. And if it's smaller, it's a female. Sometimes it can be a bit hard to tell, but once you've looked at quite a few baby hognoses' tails, you'll be able to tell. And yeah, this guy's really cute. These guys are mildly venomous. It's not going to kill you. It's probably like it's like a bee sting, their venom. But if you are allergic to bee stings, then you do want to watch out, because it is like, if you're allergic to bee stings, you're allergic to hognose bites, or probably. And yeah, he's really cute. These guys, in the wild, they're usually amphibians and stuff like that. But captivity, you kind of have to give them rodents, because we don't have sort of stuff like that for our reptiles. Or, though it's not, no one does it in England at least. Anyway, yeah. You could scent, if your hognose isn't eating like mine, you can scent it with fish or that, but I'm guessing we'll do a whole video on trying to get your hognoses to eat anyway, because I've been through the whole experience. I've only just got him to eat now. But yeah, he's really cute. Hognoses, I wouldn't recommend as a beginner pet, mainly because they're mildly venomous. You won't be able to convince your mum to let you get a snake like this anyway. And oh yeah, they don't eat very often. Or well, they do eat, but like it's hard to get them to eat if it refuses. Some will just eat and eat and eat, but some don't. So I wouldn't recommend taking the risk until you've got like at least 3 other snakes. But don't just go buy 3 royal pythons in a row same time. Say, oh, I can get a hognose now. Sell the royals the day you got them and get a hognose. That's not how it works. I actually have experience. And yeah, I'd recommend having, if you have a picky royal and you've dealt with that before, then you should be alright doing it. But I'm not going to put anything out there and send you in the wrong way. But yeah, just do your research and make sure you know what you're doing. These guys are very cute though, if you do have enough experience. These are a great pet. They don't get as big as some other snakes. The males are obviously a lot smaller than females, especially with this species. If I just put them down for a second, I'm not going to get like a proper tape measure, but most males will get like 3 feet, you know? Females upwards to 4. So that's a big worm, but as babies they are just tiny, tiny, tiny. But really cute. And if you got a friendly one, they're not always the friendliest, but if you got a friendly one, they're just like a tiny little buddy. Okay, so yeah, and they can also play dead. I'll put a picture right up here of him playing dead. But yeah, and the reason their stomachs are like black and with some other colours on to make it look like it's rotting. So then when they play dead, they'll go upside down actually, like this, and stick their tongue out. They can pop a blood vessel in their mouth or their throat to make it look like they're bleeding, to make it like, so they look not very appealing. And then most of the time it works. The predators don't want to eat them. So yeah, these guys are really cool. They are cool pets, but just make sure you know what you're doing before you buy one, because they can be a little bit of work. But yeah, and also just to put it out there, they are known to go through a phase where they're just around a year old, where they are super grumpy, like just as they hit around this size and they're a year or so, yeah, they are grumpy.
This is Salad. He is a firefly-pied royal python, and he is awesome.
Yeah.
So he's obviously the same as Coco, but a morph.
A morph.
And he is beautiful.
Yeah.
Clearly. Awesome. These guys, same care as obviously Coco. He is a male, so he will get smaller. He'll be smaller than Coco will.
Yeah. He was actually my first snake, or the first snake that I kept.
First snake that he kept. These guys, you can see if you can see like his scales, he's got a few damaged ones, but they're not actually that bad. It just looks worse because he's a white snake.
So yeah, with pieds, I found owning him, he has a lot of issues with his scales, and I don't even know what they come from. Like, you see that? That's him. He done that. That's not my terrible care, which isn't terrible. That's him squeezing himself in areas that he can't really squish into.
Yeah.
And he's also like, his skin can burn a lot easier, but I don't think it's more that.
Because it's a white snake, you can also see his spurs a lot more too.
Oh yeah, here you go.
So these are what we were talking about on Bella. These guys, obviously, I think it's from like when because they were dinosaurs, weren't they?
They were lizards. Lizards evolved into snakes, and those are literally the last bit of their legs. Those are their legs.
Their legs.
They have legs. They just don't work as legs.
Yeah. They use them for mating now, don't they?
Yeah, I think royals. I've heard something about them using them to just hook onto the female. It might have just been something random I read off the internet that wasn't real, but
it actually is true. During mating, the male will wrap around the female's body and use his spurs or whatever they are to stimulate the female's cloaca.
But anyway, this is Salad. He's awesome. Hi, this is Michael Jackson. He is a matte black for God's sake, matte black millipede. He's definitely not a centipede. Don't get the two mixed up. He is absolutely awesome. These guys get a bit bigger than him. I've had 5 in my past.
in my past.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say because
You're speechless.
There's not much
to say about them.
They're
amazing.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
They are great pets. If your parents don't let you get snakes, they're probably the closest thing, other than a
worm.
Or a worm.
Yes. Geckos are close to snakes. Yes.
Get yourself a worm. No. So these guys are obviously bugs. Yeah, they're not reptiles, just because the rest of this video has been about reptiles. Are you curling around me? They are awesome.
Yeah. And their cage doesn't need to be too large.
It doesn't need to be
like
big.
this.
It doesn't.
I know it looks a bit bare. It looks like there's just dirt here, a plant. There's actually a cork
But
there.
they love dirt. They dig.
And then we've got this. I've got this little bit of cork that you can get under.
Yeah,
he likes to do that.
Lots of hides. They like to dig, so they get under things. I reckon he likes getting under there.
Oh yeah,
getting under his cork. And their diet is mostly, as you can see, things like carrot or any veggies.
Make sure it's organic though.
Any veggies or fruit, don't go on there because you get stuck. Any veggies, fruit, they'll eat.
I tend to find they don't really like fruit. They will eat it obviously, but I've found, it might just be mine particularly doesn't like fruit for some reason.
But they are herbivores, as said, and they don't need much. They're quite the character, to be honest. Sometimes they can be very
they're quite shiny and iridescent though.
Yeah, they are. They're very pretty. They are very pretty. Matte black are very, very pretty.
I'm glad you can see it on the video actually, because it's like
and they're hard, like their shell is kind of like scales. It's hard.
It's real hard, like
very hard.
If you listen close, I bet you can't hear that at all.
No, but you can't hear that on the radio.
You can hear like it's like solid and like a knocking sound, because it's not squishy, obviously.
Yeah, no.
If it was squishy, that would be very weird.
These guys feel awesome as well on your hands.
Oh yeah.
Like when they're walking, you can see the kind of waves in their feet, and that it just feels amazing. So these guys are awesome pets. Probably good for maybe younger kids, because they don't need that big of a setup. They don't need heat. all they need is some carrot out your fridge, but make sure it's organic, like Gilbert said.
Yeah. And the cage, look at this, it's not the biggest. I would recommend something a bit bigger, but since I'm keeping him by himself, I think he'll be alright for quite a while.
And he's not like fully grown yet.
They get around a foot long, I'd say. I would do the same thing as the rule with snakes, to have them as long as the cage. Yeah, it seems like that.
This guy has plenty of room in there, especially because if you put your finger down, there's enough space for him to.
There's like an inch or so.
Yeah, and it looks like that it's deeper in some bits, which is good.
Yeah. And really, I put it flat.
Yeah.
Whenever I do this, I purposely put it really flat because I know he loves to like muck it up and make his own arrangements, which is kind of cool.
And he and they like to make their own little burrows. So I had, like I said, I've had 5 of these guys. In the ones in the tank that I had them in, it was more like a bucket. It was a bit like this, but it was kind of like a rub. I filled it like almost all the way to the top with soil. I had obviously food on the top, a few hides and caves and things. But I looked, they were almost like ants. They'd made their own little burrows and they were sitting in them, and it was pretty awesome. But so these guys, they look almost prehistoric, and they can look kind of scary. But don't be worried, because
they can't even bite.
They can't bite you, and if they even tried, you can see how rounded off their face is.
I think he's trying right now.
He is trying.
They just kind of push their face.
But they kind of push their face into you.
To be honest, I don't really understand how they even eat stuff.
No, me neither. These guys are awesome.
Yeah,
love them.
Right, let's move on to the next bug, and then we'll go back to some reptiles.
In you go. No, thank you. Don't bite me. This is a Madagascan hissing cockroach. He is male, clearly. Well, not clearly to you guys, but this is a male. You can tell because he has horns on his head bit here.
When we say horns, we don't mean like big horns you see on a cow, but like
they're kind of like
lumps, and they use as horns.
He is quite small for a hisser.
He isn't the oldest one. They can live up to like 5 years. So.
Yeah. They are awesome, but I wouldn't recommend for young children because they are quite aggressive sometimes.
And fast and
they hiss.
They have the same sort of environment as a millipede. Different care, don't just get it mixed up. Don't think you get the same.
Very shallow water dish with same food requirements. He has a cocoa hide, same flooring, just more kind of branches.
They are pretty cute actually. They're really cute.
He likes to hide up here, doesn't he?
He hides up in the gaps of this. Yeah. But they are friendly. Like if a little kid isn't scared of a cockroach that hisses at you, they get it because they're not hard. They're cute and they're fun. This one's a little bit faster. This is a baby that Jazz gifted to me.
I had a bit of an issue with mine. So I had a whole colony of Madagascan hissers. And they bred. And I didn't have the most secure cage for them. It was secure
for the adults.
But not for little babies.
So they bred and they got everywhere.
So this is also a Madagascan hissing baby. Absolutely beautiful.
It's kind of
very pretty.
There we go. You can see it's kind of hard to see on camera because it's so small.
This one's set up. I literally gave this to Gilbert in this pot. So it's the pot with holes. Food.
It probably needs a change. You can see they poo a lot. But
so sphagnum moss, anything for it to hide in, and you've put in a new rock, which is probably good because they like to hide.
Yeah, Madagascan hisser babies are very, very fast. Sometimes I open the lid to check if it needs spraying. Put the lid back on, look next to me, it's somehow gotten out and I didn't realise, and it's just right there. And I'm like, okay, open the lid again, put it back in.
They are so fast.
Yeah. And sneaky.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Tabasco. He is a gargoyle gecko. These guys are pretty fast and quite jumpy. They are really arboreal, although they can go on the ground sometimes, unlike some other geckos. And they have prehensile tails, which they can drop and won't regrow fully. They will regrow like a little nubbin or something back. And yeah, this is obviously not obviously, but it's a red striped gargoyle gecko. And they're called gargoyle geckos because of the horns on top of their head, which are those lumps. These guys do not have eyelids, so they do not blink. Instead, they lick their eyes. And most of the time when they drink, it's when it rains and they lick the water droplets off objects like plants and that, and even their own face.
Yeah.
So when I spray his tank, because they need humidity, because they live in New Caledonia, I make sure to spray him on his own face, because he actually likes it, and then he gets a nice drink.
Yeah.
And they're quite jumpy, they're very good at climbing, very gorgeous.
Yep. And
they are nocturnal, I'm pretty sure, or crepuscular.
Yeah.
Either way, it's pretty much the same thing. And these guys, he's almost fully grown, they don't get too large. I've got him in an Exoterra 60 to 45 but length and 45 back. So well, that's a bit confusing, but anyway. It's not the largest of cages. It obviously fits in most rooms. And these guys are very cute. There is friendlier ones than this. These guys are usually quite jumpy. You can find some friendlier ones. Mainly because this guy, when I got him, he was already 8 months old and he hadn't been handled that much. So, I mean, it was from a pretty big reptile shop. So, obviously, he didn't have time to specifically handle him. These guys eat powder, like it's a powder that you mix with water and then it makes this weird sludge sort of stuff. It's kind of like ketchup, but like the whole diet.
But for geckos.
Yeah, and then
ketchup for geckos.
And then that's what they eat.
Yeah.
You can also give them bugs, these ones specifically, because these do also eat a little bit of bugs.
Tabasco doesn't really.
You can find, well, yeah, he doesn't like eating bugs, but he should be eating bugs.
Yeah.
And these guys are really, I wouldn't recommend them for beginner handlers because they're not the easiest. Yeah, thanks, Jess.
Come here. He's going on your head now.
That's fine. Okay, yeah, so they're not for beginner handlers. You see, even me and Jazz are struggling.
Yeah,
with him
struggling
together. But yeah, and yeah, I was just saying, this is not the friendliest gargoyle gecko. There can be friendlier ones.
But he is beautiful.
And they can, people say geckos can stick to glass. They can. Not these ones so much, from what I've found out.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering where its ears are, those, if you can see the little holes, it's kind of hard to see on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are his ears. And you can see right through his head.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit obvious. It's a bit more obvious on leopard geckos because their holes are a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Holes are a lot bigger. Yeah, so these guys are absolutely wonderful. They come from New Caledonia along with a bunch of other gecko species. And they are really cool.
Okay, now some pictures of Jazz's snake. Here's a couple different pictures. This one I absolutely love. It's really the focus is, I don't know, it just looks so good. If you can hear, I've got a cat purring on my lap right now as I'm editing. It must be the best editing ever, which it is. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, Mayo's really cute, that's her name. She's a normal royal python, just like Coco. Funny story, actually. Once Jazz was going to, when Jazz went to go get mayonnaise, which she actually got before I got my first snake. But anyway, when she went to get her, she was the first snake she saw. She could have got a pinstripe male for the exact same price. But yeah, but pinstripes are morphed, by the way. And I'm guessing you could tell anyway. And yeah, so she brought her home, but before she went home, she saw, you know how sometimes, some of you might know, if you go to a reptile shop, sometimes you'll see loose feeder bugs on the floor. She saw a dubia roach on the floor, which are feeder cockroaches, and she picked it up, put it in her pocket and said, I'm going to take it home, it's going to be my second pet. And when she got home, she was putting mayonnaise in her new cage, but she was also holding the other cockroach at the same time in her other hand, and she struck and ate the cockroach. So yeah, just a funny story, but yeah.
Guys, that's what we've got for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching.
We'll see you in the next vid.